Alright guys, today we're going to build this 2-bale hay feeder. I built this one yesterday, and this one I sized a little bit taller than the one I'm building today. This one's going to be for the cows. And I've designed it so you put 2 bales in here, and then the droppings as the bales get ate will store here. And you could also throw in some feed, some corn or whatever in there so they get some from that. Alright, as always with the projects I do, I like to utilize materials that I have on hand to repurpose as much as I can. I like to stockpile stuff. The only thing I have that's new here is the screws that I'm using for it. I have some that I got at an auction, but then these I had around. They're a little sturdier and it'll help this to last longer. For materials, you're going to need 7 1-bys, and these are 38.5 inches long, 4 2x6s, 56 inches long, 6 2x6s, 38 inches long, and 4 4x4s, and I cut these 4 foot tall, so to give it a little smaller, because this one's going to be our goat feeder. For tools, you're going to need a drill, or you could use hammer and nails if you wanted. You're going to need something to cut the cattle panel that you need for the inside of the hay feeder, and you're going to need a saw. I have my chop saw, but you can use a circular saw, and you need a square and a level and just some basic tools. I can't emphasize enough when you're doing projects on the homestead to have good, solid tools. Don't just go out and buy cheap. You can buy used, but don't buy junky tools. The better the tools, the longer it'll last, the happier you'll be with them. So save up that money for the good tools and buy good stuff. Okay, so we take the shorter boards and at about just below halfway, and then one at the top, we attach them with screws or nails depending on what you're using. I prefer the DeWalt screw guns myself. You gotta do each side attached to the 4x4, and here in a moment we'll take that and we'll stand them up on their sides, and we'll put the side rails on them. Before we do that, I'll grab the square, and I'll square these up, because it is important that these are square when you attach them, or they'll be wobbly, and we wouldn't want that. Alright, so now I grabbed the longer board, and for this project I think I used 54 inch long. You can use whatever long length you want, but just remember it needs to be at least long enough to fit a bale in. I found 54 to work pretty good, to take in consideration the 4-inch 4x4s on either side. There again, you see me squaring up this direction as well to make a good solid framework for this. And if you notice, putting the top rail just right up the top along with the other one, and then the bottom rail right in line where we put the bottom. I put the boards to the inside instead of the outside on the frame, the side frames, and I thought that worked better. There, I flipped it over. I'm doing the next part. As with any of my videos, you can always email me questions at enosacres@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to give you tips and advice on any of these projects that you're making. Or if you have a question about some of the animals we raise and need questions answered for that, or anything. Alright, now I'm taking the 1-bys that I cut to 38 inches long, and I'm screwing that to the framework there after I had flipped over the framework. So this will be the bottom, and this will catch, like we use oat hay when we can get a hold of oat hay. This will catch the oats that fall out of it so it doesn't hit the ground, and then the cows, and we use it for goats as well, will get in there and eat that oats, and it keeps it in better condition, because you'll find wherever you put your feeder you're going to have a lot of mud when it's wet, and you're going to have a lot of animal droppings from them just hanging out there eating. What's convenient about these feeders is that 2 people can move them pretty easily, and so if you're starting to tear up your pasture in one area or your feed area, you can move them around so you can clean. Now I took the metal and I cut it so that when I bend it, it will be long enough to go about halfway down in the working area of the feeder. And I just took that board and used it to pry it at the halfway point of the metal up. This is just standard 48-inch cattle panel. There again, making the boards 54 inches allowed that to fit just right in there. Here I'm taking a 2x6 and I'm sliding it in here so that nothing can get in, its head can't get in this way, and they won't get stuck, and it'll hold the hay in a little better from the side. You could line this here with a cattle panel as well. I just chose the board because I had that available and it worked out pretty good. I mounted the wire with, I took some hardware brackets, and I actually made some out of straight brackets and screwed that in there. You could use brackets for mounting plumbing or whatever you wanted to use. Okay, that's it. That's their hay feeder. Hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, guys, have a good day.
Zoom in over on